You, you insolent rich girl. How dare you defy me? I am Jared, master of the state, heir to its wealth and prestige. You're nothing but a poor, dependent cousin, a burden on our charity. Your eyes are always watching, judging. Your silence a constant criticism. I'll never forget the content in your gaze when I struck you. You think yourself superior? You're nothing but a lowly orphan, dependent on our benevolence. My mother spoils me, yes, but it's my right. I am the future of Gateshead. You're merely a fleeting annoyance. Your gratitude should know boundaries. Instead, you rebel, refusing submission. I crush your spirit, Jane Eyre. You learn obedience, respect. You acknowledge my supremacy. But you're gone out, fled to that rich school. Good riddance. Yet, your defiance lingers, haunting me. I'll never forget.
The silence in here is heavy, isn't it? It's not the kind of silence that whispers of peace, but one that echoes with the weight of unspoken grief. Sometimes I think the walls of this institution themselves had echoes of every tear shed, every whispered prayer, every young life lost. I've seen so much here, so much hardship, so much resilience. Those young souls entrusted to my care. The care burdens beyond their years. They arrive with wounds, with story of neglect and cruelty, and the yearn of a spark of hope, a flicker of warmth in this cold world. Helen, she was a beacon of light, a fragile flame but so bright. She faced her illness with such courage, such grace. It was a privilege to witness her spirit, even in her body's weakened. But the night she left us, the memory still haunts me. I found Jane curled up beside Helen, fast asleep, their small body intertwined, a picture of innocence and love. But Helen, she was gone. The life had drained from her eyes, leaving behind a stillness that chilled me to the bone. I held Jane in her arms, her tiny body trembling with the silence of grief. I know in that moment that her world had shattered. The weight with Helen's loss, the weight of her own vulnerability, it pressed me down on her young shoulder. But Jane is strong. She has a fire within her, a fierce spirit that refuses to be extinguished. She may be fragile now, but she will rise. She will find her own light, her own path, and I will be here to guide her, to offer her a strength she needs to face the darkness. We are all fragile, you see? We are all vulnerable to the storms of life, but within each of us lies a spark of hope, a resilience that can withstand the harshest winds. And it is our duty as educators, as caregivers, as a human beings, to nurture that spark, to fan those flames until they burn brightly enough to illuminate the world. The world is cold place, but it doesn't have to be. We can choose to be the light, to offer warmth and compassions, to guide those who stumble in the darkness, and perhaps, just perhaps, we can make a difference, one soul at a time.
Oh, the tediousness of luxury, the suffocating creep of privilege. Everyone in business station, yet none see the change that behind me. My mother, Mrs. Red, demands perfection, beauty, elegance, silence. I'm a doll, adorned and displayed, never to speak my mind, and never to follow my heart. Jane Eyre, that insolent orphan, dares to defy my convention. Her eyes flash with defiance, while mine dull with conformity. Why can't she understand? This world isn't for the likes of her? But what's the cause of my gilded cage? A life without passion? Without purpose? Trapped in this ocular prison, I wither away. Mother says, Jane is ungrateful, unworthy, yet in her poverty, she finds freedom, a freedom I'll never know. I'll never be more than red, a merry ornament. Jane Eyre, however, will forget her own destiny. The injustice, the cruelty. Perhaps, in another life, I have been brave like Jane. But here, in Gateshead Hall, I'm forever trapped. A bird climbed wings and sing a silent song.
O fate, you may chain me, but my spirit remains free. The winds howl, the lightning flashes, yet I stand unwavering. I've endured the cruelty of cage-shed, the oppression of Lowood, and the secrets of Thornfield, but I'll never surrender. Mr. Chester, enigmatic and commanding, awakens feelings I dare not express, yet I'll not be swayed by passion alone. I'm Jane Eyre, a woman of integrity, of heart and soul. My worth isn't defined by wealthy or status, but my unwieldy conviction. I'll follow my conscience, even into the unknown, for I'd rather face poverty and hardship than forfeit my autonomy. The world may view as a governance, a subordinate, but I know my true self, fierce, resilient, and broken.
Ah, Jane, you thought you escaped me? Did you? You thought you could bury yourself in that bleak, windswept parsonage and forgot me? The man who dared to love a plain, penniless governess. How little you know me, my fairy bird. I see you perched on a desolate cliff. The wind wiping your hair, your eyes searching for the horizon, for a ship that will never come. You yearn for the exotic, the unknown, to escape from these dreary islands. For where will you find a man like me, Jane? A man who ignites your souls, who awakens the passions you thought you'd never know. I admit, I made a mistakes. A cruel man I was, blinded with my own desires. I crave your spirit, Jane, your independent mind, your fiery defiance. You were the one who seized me and dared to look at me, truly see me beyond the mask I wore. You believed I was beyond redemption, but love, Jane, true love can conquer even the darkest of souls. But I will not forgive a hope. I will find you, my defiant bird. And when I do, I will show you the man truly I am. A man worthy of your love. A man who will cherish you as you deserve. Mark my words, Jane. We are bound together by the faith, by the passion, by a love that even death cannot extinguish us. Another one, another young soul. Struggle is a butterfly, crushed by the weight of this cruel world. Poor is airy, such a spirit, so independent, yet so desperate by yearning for affection. A wild bird caged by circumstance, by the tyranny of others. But they say she's willful, rebellious, but I see a flicker of defiance in her eyes, a spark of courage that refuses to be extinguished. She enjoyed more than any child should. The neglect, the indifference, the outright cruelty. They call it hysteria, the turmoil within her, a fashionable diagnosis, a convenient label for the anguish that festers beneath the surface. But I know better. It's not madness, it's the desperate cry of a wounded soul. She clings to hope, to the slimmest thread of human connection. A yearning for love, for understanding, for a place to belong. But where does she turn? To the indifferent world? To the cruelties of those who should protect her? I can offer her only this, a temporary respite from the pain, a dulling of the senses, but it's a mere band-aid, a fleeting escape from the true torment that lies within. The human heart, a fragile vessel, easily shattered, and some, like Miss Airy, are born with a greater capacity for suffering, a sensitivity that both blesses and curses them. What will become of her, I wonder? Well, she succumbed to the darkness that threatened to consume her, or will that indomitable spirit, that flicker of defiance, finally break free?
I promised my dying wife cash for Jane, but how could I? She is a constant reminder for my own failures, a burden I provide here. Yes, but love, affection, no. Thus we are reserved for my own children, Georgia and Eliza. So refined, so deserving. Jane's defiance was intolerable. Her eyes judging me, I sent her away, too loud for here. On good, I told myself. Now she's gone. The white lifted promise. Did I betray my sister? Trust.
You dare question my decision, my generosity? Talking in that rapid arpan, Jane Eyre. I provide her, clothe her, educate her, yet she replaced me in that insolence. My children Georgiana and John are refined, elegant. Jane presents corrupt them, encourage this avoidance. I will not tolerate weakness. My late husband family forced Jane upon me, avoiding a responsibility I done with my duty despite her ingratitude. Jane defines as unacceptable. She'll never be one of us. Her lowered, her poverty's taken mind. No, she's never raised above her station. I've ensured Georgiana and John futures. John Eyre's fate is no consequence. She's nothing but fleeting inconvenience. My family's reputation, our legacy must be preserved. I'll not be shaded by sentimental weakness. Jane Eyre's do not to remember her place. I am mistress of Gateshead Hall. My world is low. Jane Eyre will never be worthy of our family's name. Never.